What's up everyone, MK Tom Brady here. So in this video, I want to talk about and give my thoughts and reaction to the NRS Pro Komp that was held in Brazil over the weekend, as well as some talking points said both before this and after this event here regarding MK1. So just so you know, I was not planning on watching this event at all, but I got so many messages over the weekend during pool play saying, Tom, you got to tune in, you got to watch this Sub-Zero player. He's a young kid, he's putting in work. So look, I'm a big Sub-Zero guy, so I went back and watched all of his videos, but then because I wanted to give an accurate take on this, I continued to watch the remainder of the Pro Komp all the way through pools, top 24, top 8 grand finals, just so I didn't give a reaction based off 4 or 5 matches. And as an MK player, a guy who's been an MK, I know I'm not a competitor anymore, but an MK guy forever, since the beginning of the series, this was depressing. The soul of these characters is gone. Poke, I'm watching Scorpion here doing poke, backdash, poke, throw, string or poke into, there we go, poke, backdash, throw, poke or string into spear spin. Like, the soul of this character has been completely removed to just be as generic as everyone else. Same with Sub-Zero. I'm watching these two players here, nose to nose almost the entire fight. I'm watching Sub-Zero doing, when he's up close and he has, which he always is, and he has Melina, he's going to do overhead or low into overhead or double low into the air side, which is completely generic of a mix. It's just an easy 50-50 mix up. Here he is close. Poke, 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 backdash, poke, throw. Scorpion, of course, poking the spear spin. And, you know, this is, and I understand in this fight you don't see too many clones or ice balls, but it's Scorpion. You can't do that but so much. But that's pretty much the entire tournament for this guy. As Sub-Zero was played very generic, you know, clone punch for a standard projectile, like pretty much every other character. And then full screen move into cameo. In his case, it's katana. But that's pretty much how the whole game plays. Poke, 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 throw. Poke, 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 backdash. Full screen move into cameo. And then standard projectile. There we go. A nice simple 50-50. And it just, it makes me feel like the soul has been ripped out of these characters. You know, I don't want to go back to MK9. I don't want to sound like a too big of a boomer here, because I am an old man. But if I go back to even MKX, both of these two characters, like every character, are trying to mix. Scorpion plays like a complete maniac. He doesn't care about anything, doesn't care what you do. He's not going to block. He's just nonstop aggression, nonstop cancel pressure, 50-50s off of that, throw and more pressure. The throw is like, you don't even see it too often because of how much the pressure in the mix is. He's just all over you in open space, teleport, cancel. He doesn't even care. Sometimes he'll let the EX teleport rip because Scorpions don't care. They don't block anything. Just crazy aggression. And then there's Sub-Zero, who's also trying to be very aggressive and mix like they all are. But while I'm not trying to make it seem like, you know, this is so strategic, it appears as Sub-Zero is a little more strategic than Scorpion because he's got to get you cornered and then keep you cornered. I'm not saying, again, it's rocket science here or brain science. He's still just going to get you there and ram out 50-50s, right, or throw you into the clone. But they don't do it the same way. They both have a different appearance of how it's done. In this game, it's just completely generic. Pretty much all the characters are just way too simple, generic, bland. It's soulless. They have taken the soul, the life out of this very game. Now, there are some that try to make the argument that Mortal Kombat is just, you know, when I talk about the full screen stuff in the cameo, they say this is a cameo game. It's an assist game. What do you expect? Well, keeping that in mind, if you go back and watch other assist games, they don't move at the speed of evolution. This is the slowest and driest assist game ever created. So it completely fails from that aspect. And then this is one that I've heard. It's just more of a strategic game. And a lot of people don't like or appreciate that. So let me just kind of give you an example here. If I watch Tekken 8, which is a very, very fast-paced game, but I'm watching one or two players slow each other down. Let's say I'm watching somebody slow a Lars player down. I know that this is not, a Lars player does not want to play at a snail's pace. And I can see that there is something that is being done to force that style and that pace to be played during this match. And I can see that, and I can see the strategy, because the game is very, very fast and can be very one-sided. Somebody can just get steamrolled. In this game, I am not watching that pace of evolution gameplay and that very boring, bland, pokey style, because this is an advanced strategic game where both players are forcing this with each other. This is all you can do. This is all that you can do. So players are not forcing each other to be more slow and strategic. This game is poke backdash, poke throw, full screen move into cameo, special into cameo, like Scorpion has one special he does into cameo, throw. That's it. That's the game. I understand you have a couple of characters that are a little different, like Raiden has a continuous situation where he could do string into Storm Cell, poke into Storm Cell, and then Kano has advantage, and then he can strike throw you, or do it one more time, or mix. But again, it all comes down to this game: poke, backdash, throw. Just extremely boring and bland. The only special you see characters do half the time is cameo. Yeah, I mean, this is just like watching paint dry. But again, that notion that this game is just more strategic, it's just not true, because strategy requires players are being forced to play that way. In this game, it's slow and watered down and bland and soulless because that is all the characters can do. They are not being forced to do so by another player. It's not like that at all. And I also want to tackle a few of these arguments that I heard that were laughable. So it was being brought up that this tournament for $10,000 only had 69 people. It didn't even have 70 people. For reference, one of the first ever Mortal Kombat 2 tournaments I remember was a local I went to at Menlo Park Mall in New Jersey, and that had 80 people. And I think first got some money and second got tokens. And that had 80 people. 1992. Here we are, $10,000 in an area where MK is loved and rich, with people who just love MK, and you got 69 people for $10,000. Now, it has been argued that this is all because this is Warner Brothers' fault. They just need to put more money on the line. A direct quote said to me was, quote, "Mortal Kombat players are just more financially responsible, and they realize it's not worth it to travel for $5K for first place, because what is the end game here? 30 grand for the Pro Series final. So that's why they're not traveling." So before I get into some stats here, I want to remind you that Mortal Kombat at every Pro Series qualifier has had the highest payout. East Coast Roadrun, it was not the highest entrance there. Not even 300 people for 10 grand. No other game there had anywhere near that type of money. And it was not the highest. It only had less than 300 people. Games like Street Fighter have 500. UFA, its second pro tournament. Again, 10 grand. No other game came close to that payout. And they didn't even break 100. I think they had 157 entrants. Didn't even have 200. Once again, games like Street Fighter have 450 to 500. And this is not for a Capcom Pro event, nothing like that at all. But people will always argue that in the long run, it is the money. A combo breaker, we understand that MK, it's not where it should be right now. Maybe people are entering late. We have to wait for those final numbers. But again, it's once again, MK is the or tied for the, I don't know if any other game is having a Pro Series qualifier, but it's either the highest payout or tied for the highest payout of any game there. Guaranteed payout, I should say. And still, MK is not where it should be. But we know only 30K for the Pro Series qualifier. Finale. However, NRS Esports dropped this little gem here. It says that they have upped the money of the Pro Series finale, Final Combat, to now $200,000. So if the money was truly the issue, we should see some changes. This was on March 3rd. It is now 8 p.m. March 5th while I'm recording this video. And as I was checking Combo Breaker, there was not this surge of entrants, waiting to join Mortal Kombat. It really no change at all. Now, of course, Combo Breaker isn't until later. I think it's in May, so we still have time. Maybe again, quote unquote, people are registering late, but you didn't see much of an uptick there. But we'll wait and see. If MK is not in the top 2 or 3, it's a huge blow up in my opinion. I don't even think it'll make the top 5 or top 4, I should say, but we'll see. Now, after this announcement was made, you would think you'd have players coming back to streaming the game and on the grind for the game and really excited to compete. And you'd also think there'd be an uptick in people watching because the problem, quote unquote, was that there wasn't enough money in the game. Well, of course, as of 8 p.m. prime time streaming hours, March 5th, Tekken has almost 11K, Street Fighter has 12K, Mortal Kombat has 460. And I don't want to hear this garbage about YouTube because these other games do great on YouTube. And if Mortal Kombat gets more views than these games, it's because half of that is people talking about how crap the game is. So they all do well on YouTube, and then we come to Twitch. Where is the interest in this game? Tournament entrants on an uptick. We all know we have to get the final numbers for the PlayStation 5 for the month of March because now that Final Combat changed it. Then we can really, at the end of March, really kind of gauge the quote-unquote new level of interest. But I don't see this anywhere at all. This game, this is the proof that it's not about money at all. It's just people just don't like the game. They don't travel for it because they don't like it. That's just the way it is. No one wants to spend money for this game. Whether it's $10,000, even if $200,000 is on the line, nobody cares. Outside of maybe a handful of people, that's not the reason why this game is not in the poor state it is. Besides its other issues, it's got no soul. They have literally ripped the soul out of Mortal Kombat. And I was just extremely disappointed by this Pro Series tournament. I don't care. Does this prove we were wrong and Scorpion is good? And who cares? It's not about, nor has it ever been about, can X character win or not win? It is about literally playing the game is as boring as Invasions. Just the soul of this game is just completely gone. They started it with MK11 and they really finished it here. But let me know what you guys think. Did you enjoy the Pro Series? Let me know your thoughts. As always, thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more content. The next video is a doozy, by the way. Wow. Stay tuned for that.